Hello, hello, hello. Julie Surratt here with Dharma Talk Tuesday, but not in the Dharma Talk Tuesday chair. Where am I today? I am at an advanced leadership training at the moment. I'm one of the mentors. I am blessed and lucky and so privileged to be one of the mentors. The only problem is that when I do these trainings at the hotels, the lighting sucks. So bear with me on that. I'm so happy that you're hopping on. I'm really excited about today's topic because I'm just like trying to find better lighting right now. There we go, that's a little bit better. It's a topic, it's a question that I hear all the time. Like, I had a win, something amazing happened. I had this windfall, I had this awesome thing happen. And then 5 steps back, 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. And that pattern of moving forward and moving back, and then everything that comes from that, like the self beat up and the unworthiness and the frustration or the anger or the blame or the victim. I mean, it's different for everybody, but it causes you suffering and it causes you pain. And if you've been following me on social media, you'll know that I have been watching Star Wars. I've never seen it before. Isn't that crazy? And Matt's introduced me to it. And I love Yoda so much. He has such wisdom. And one of the things he says is, fear is the root of a lot of I forget what the words he used. I mean, he's obviously so much more articulate than I am in this moment. But basically it was like, fear is at the root of that problem, and fear causes suffering, period. And suffering is what causes the breakdowns. That's what I'm putting on top of it. So like when you find yourself in the 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, and then like the stories and the things that you create that cause you suffering, that's the problem and that's the issue, and that's what I want to talk about today. That's the problem that I want to provide a solution for today. So as you're joining, thank you for hopping on. It's so good to see you here, every single one of you. I'm going to hit the wave button. This is a new feature on the Facebook Live. Wave, 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 wave. So fun, so fun, so fun. So if you know anyone who could benefit from this topic, please, yes, Diane says, I need to hear this. Okay, so if you know anyone that could really benefit from this topic, hit the invite button. You can actually invite people. You can hit the share button to share this Facebook Live so that it goes live on your page too, because imagine the beauty and the power of reaching somebody who it's like you're their angel today by bringing this conversation to them. And I will tell you right now that there was a time when hearing a conversation like this and hearing coaching around this would have made such a big difference for me. You know, I was in that space, and it still makes a difference for me, you know, when I hear these types of conversations. So hit the share button and go ahead and invite people. And I'm just going to hop right in here because I don't have as much time today as I usually do for Dharma Talk Tuesday, because I'm literally in the middle of the training right now, and I stepped out to be with you guys because I would never miss a Tuesday with you, other than last Tuesday, which was a total breakdown, which is never happening again. So moving right along, I have 3 things I want to talk about with you today. Hearts and likes if you're excited. Hearts and likes, hearts and likes, hearts and likes, hearts and likes if you're excited to talk about the 3 things that are going to shift your pattern from going from the 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, like stuckness, into forward momentum, forward momentum, forward momentum, shifting you for good. Hearts and likes if you're excited about that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those. All right. Here's the first thing. If you're a leader, if you're a Dharma queen, if you're somebody who's creating breakthrough in the world somewhere, if you're creating results, if you know that this world has a lot of improvement in various industries, like for example, something I'm really passionate about is marine conservation and sustainable, like getting rid of single-use plastic and things like that. Like that's a major breakdown. There's all kinds of social causes. There's, biodiversity is decreasing. Animals are going extinct, ocean acidification, coral bleaching, like there's some issues, free energy, like there's some issues out there. And it's leaders like you who are going to go out and cause breakthroughs in the world that are going to inspire others. Maybe you're going to create the solutions and the results and the transformation in people to create the shifts and the changes that really need to happen in the world right now. So if you're somebody who's believing for that and declaring that, here's the deal. You can expect breakdowns. This is point number one. You can expect breakdowns. When you have a big declaration, when you have a vision that, like when you're like a pathfinder and you're a torchbearer and you're somebody who is paving the way for a problem that needs a solution, you can expect obstacles. You can expect breakdowns. And this is the first point. So when you shift your expectation and your relationship with failure, and you shift your relationship with expectations as you're going out and creating declarations and then executing on them, to recognize that when a breakdown happens, it's not like you're a failure. It's not like you have you can use it as a chance to be right about a limitation or a story or something that's sabotaging you. You totally can. Or you can recognize that breakdowns are a part of creating big declarations and stretching. And here's what that does. That creates compassion, and it relieves you of suffering. So like Yoda said, suffering is an issue. It's a problem. It's unnecessary. It's a choice. So when you have an expectation that breakdowns will occur as you're moving forward in that stretch and in that declaration, then you can have compassion for yourself, not if it happens, but when it happens. And a story is coming to mind. I've been listening to Russell Brunson a lot lately, one of the top internet marketers, and I respect him so much too as a leader. And he has a whole podcast about how there was an investor that he was speaking to who asked him, "Oh, have you cycled?" And he was like, "Well, what do you mean cycled?" And he was like, "Been through a bankruptcy, a failure." And he's like, "Well, yeah." And the guy was like, "Thank God. Because I will not work with someone who hasn't cycled," is what he called it, which is kind of like a nicer name than failure, And the reason is because that person has a different relationship with breakdown, a different relationship with quote unquote failure. They have a different understanding of what that is, and they can move through it so much faster. Okay, so that's the first thing, expecting breakdowns, having an expectation that breakdowns will happen, okay? And then the second thing is, what do you do? What do you do when that breakdown happens? Do you sit in your shit? Do you stay there, slogging through the sludge, being miserable? Or do you do something else? So let's present option number 2. And there's many different ways that you can create a shift in that difficult moment, but I'm gonna present you with one right now, which is to shift your focus and attention, because attention goes where energy flows. Shift your focus and attention from the breakdown back to what I call your Dharma life GPS. What is the thing that you uniquely were put on this planet to create? What is the thing that you were born to do? Because guess what? The thing that you are going to be amazing at creating and generating is different from the thing I was born to do. Every single one of us have a unique gift, and that's a principle in the sutras. Dharma is your duty. It's something that you were born to fulfill on, and it's different for every single person. And yes, it's a choice, yes, it's an option, but the literal translation of the word dharma is duty. It is your duty to fulfill on that thing, that calling, that burning that you feel in your heart. So when you're in that breakdown moment, what do? My invitation to you, this is point number 2, is to shift your focus, your attention to the vision, to your Dharma life GPS. It's GPS because it's where are you going? What coordinates are you putting into your GPS system of your life? Because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a specific clear goal in mind of what you're wanting to create, it's going to be really freaking hard to create that thing. And here's the other awesome thing, is when you know where you're going and you're excited about that, because obviously you wouldn't choose that thing if you weren't excited about it. And if you make that choice out of something other than excitement, you're not making the right choice. I'm just telling you that right now. If you're making the choice for money or for people pleasing or for being liked, you are not making the right choice. You need to make the choice for what your Dharma is based on what lights you up inside, what fills your heart, okay? So you're obviously excited about it, assuming you made the choice that way, which you haven't. I invite you to shift right now. And when you're in your shit, when you're in the breakdown, where do you go? Where do you look? You look at the vision. You look at your Dharma life GPS. What am I actually trying to create right now? Okay, what is the actual goal that I want to achieve? Thank you for the hearts and likes. Thank you for those hearts and likes. I'm glad that resonates. Like I said, I'm currently mentoring an advanced leadership training right now. And it was so cool to see these amazing leaders who I'm supporting go out into the world last night. I mean, they were given an absolutely unreasonable task. Every single one of them was. I'm not going to tell you specifically what it was for confidentiality, but I will tell you that some of them were in breakdown. Some of them were frozen. Some of them were in analysis paralysis. Some of them were in, who am I to create this? There's no way I can create this. I don't see that this is possible. Yeah, they were in all of that. But here's what shifted a lot of them. Bringing their attention away from like all of that and into, okay, but what's my vision? What did I put into my Dharma Life GPS? Like, what am I really here to create? And when they shifted into their vision, all of a sudden magic happened. And all of a sudden things started moving. Momentum got generated, energy got generated, excitement got generated. They supported each other. They manifested miracles. Like all of a sudden people showed up and the right people, and it was like connections were being made and miracles were occurring because they shifted their focus and their attention. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So like, where do you want your attention to flow to? Do you want your energy and attention to flow to your breakdowns and your shit and staying stuck in the 2 steps forward, 5 steps back? Or do you want your energy and attention to flow towards your dharma, your destination, the thing that you were put on this earth here to shift and create? Okay, that's point number 2. Let's go to point number 3. Rapid fire going through this. Thank you for the hearts and likes. All right, point number 3. And this is actually a 3-part. Number 3 is a 3-part bullet point. Okay, so when you find yourself in the 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, once you know, but once you expect breakdown and once you're reconnected with what your vision is and what your Dharma Life GPS is, now you need to go through a 3-step process. The first is to, well, let me put it this way. All of this is to create a system. You want to create a system to set yourself up to win. Given that you can expect breakdowns, given that you can expect things, it's not an if, it's a when, you want to create a system to make sure that you are set up to win when shit hits the fan and when breakdowns happen. Okay, so here are the 3 things you can do to set yourself up to win and create a system. Okay, here's the first one. And you hear me talk about this all the time. It's yoga. And this is what sets me apart. This is what makes me different from other business coaches and other success coaches. Is I won't just give you a strategy. I won't just say, hey, like here's the thing you should do to close the gap. Now go do it. I will say, hey, here is a yoga practice you can do to get out of your head and into your body, because your answers are not in your head. What's in your head is suffering, limitation. I can't, and here's why. All the reasons why the breakdowns will keep happening. That's what's in your head. So you want to shift out of your head and into your body. We do that through yoga. And the way that you do that is through yoga, through breathing, through recognizing that your body has the wisdom inside of it. Like God will talk to you through your body. When you create space to feel good, to feel in alignment, and to be that channel of the universe, all of a sudden there's like boom, 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 and you will receive insight after insight, wisdom bomb after wisdom bomb. And it's like, that's how I make my to-do list. It's like, I need to do this, 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 and this. It's not from like trying to figure it out. It's like trusting the wisdom that's coming through and then going and doing it. Okay, so that's the first thing, is your yoga practice. The second is setting up mentorship and having a go-to person. So like I have coaches. I'm literally working with one of the most incredible, powerful, impactful, transformational leaders on the planet in this program that I'm mentoring. So like we've got students, I'm one of the mentors, and then I go to him for my support. And I've got several other mentors as well. And if you've got a big vision and if you're committed to creating transformation and you don't have a mentorship system, you don't have a mentor, you don't have a tribe, like a mastermind or like a group of women, like a sisterhood that you're a part of, then that's a major gap for you. And I really want to invite you to create a system for yourself, whether it's going and hiring a mentor or enrolling someone into like an accountability buddy or bringing yourself into an environment that is uplifting. Jim Rohn says you're the sum average of your 5 closest friends. So create that for yourself. That's a very important system for somebody to have who is committed to making a big difference in the world and is committed to moving forward rather than staying stuck. That's the second point. The third is to set yourself up to win. So for example, if you know that you're somebody who often finds yourself being late to things, like I used to, like on time was like 30 minutes late for me. Like that was the story of my life for a very long time. So when I started, being really committed to my vision and showing up differently and being rigorous and transformational, in alignment and on purpose, I set myself up to win. So now if I need to be somewhere at 8, I tell myself in my head, I need to be there at 7:30. And then I get there, like at 7:45 or like before 8. And that's really important because the way that your perception is everything. Like your reputation matters. It really does. And if people see you and experience you as like in breakdown or frantic or like like scattered, that diminishes your reputation and it diminishes the perception of you, and people feel like they can't trust you, as one example. So you want to make sure that you are setting yourself up to win. That's point number 3. Okay, so I'm just going to review the points really quickly again. Number 1 is expect breakdowns. If you're stretching into big goals and visions, you can expect breakdowns. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Point number 2. Identify where you want to go. Because if you have a bigger vision and a vision that you are more excited about and enrolled in and focused on than the stuckness that you find yourself in that 2 steps forward, 5 steps back moment, then that is a good position to be in. Then that means that you can focus on the thing that's going to move you forward. And my man happens to be walking out of the training. Right? Will you come say hi? He's in PhD right now and he just walked out of the training. He's being rigorous and sensitive to time because they're in the middle of a process right now. I'm being a distraction. I'm sorry, I'm just excited to see him. Okay, so where was I? So distracting. It's like, oh my gosh, anyway. Okay, moving right along. So having a vision will keep you focused on moving forward and getting out of stuckness. Okay, that's point number 2. In fact, I would really love for every single one of you to post below what your vision is. What's a cause that you care about? Like Evelyn, being a voice for the voiceless, for the animals who are in distress and, need your stand, that transformational, Emily's laughing. So like Evelyn, for you, like that's your stand. Diane, like being that stand for women who are ready to put themselves first finally. Aw, thank you, Diane. Yeah, so comment below with your, like Shawnee, with your Juice Plus, comment below with what you're up to in the world, and maybe you can even create a partnership and an accountability and support right here, your tribe right here on Dharma Talk Tuesday. Wouldn't that be cool? But be vulnerable, be willing, and post your vision, what you're typing into your Dharma Life GPS right here in the comments, okay? So that's point number 2. And then point number 3 is threefold. And it encompasses creating a system. Create a system that moves you out of that stuckness. And the first point in that system is getting out of your head and into your body through the yoga practice. So for example, we have our 14-day yoga challenge happening right now in the Dharma Divas Facebook group, in my Facebook group. So I'll post a link to that so that you can come join us over there. We have another 7 days left. So it's a self-contained challenge. There's a lot of engagement in the group happening. It's a beautiful tribe. And it's an opportunity to really learn how to get out of your head and into your body. There's yoga practices in there and that kind of thing. So you can join us there. I'll post a link there. Okay. Number 2, mentorship. Having a go-to person, having a community, someone you can get feedback from, give feedback to, receive support from, share your wins with, share your successes with. Like not being a lone wolf. Being a lone wolf doesn't work when you're wanting to get unstuck and create momentum. Being in relationship with someone else who holds you high and loves you and cares about you is everything, and a mentor does that for you. Right? I'm loving your responses here right now. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And then finally, setting yourself up to win. So that's about, there's a principle in the sutras, in the Eightfold Path called svadhyaya, and that means knowing yourself. It means, like, for example, I know that, like I said, I used to have a horrible relationship with time. I used to be late to everything. So now I set myself up to win, and I'm on time and I'm early, and that creates credibility, it creates self-trust, it creates a sense of calm and groundedness, and that's really important if you want to be a leader in the world who's causing shifts and transformation and change on the planet, okay? Other ways to set yourself up to win, like for example, if you need to be somewhere early in the morning, set your clothes out the night before, as simple as that. Or as another example, What's another good example? Hi, Shiloh. Are you leaving? Yes. Love you, bye. The team is leaving. So as another example, one of the things we do as a leadership team is if we're in a moment of like breakdown, we'll like tap each other on the shoulder as a reminder of like shift, shift, shift. That's a system. That's something we do to set ourselves up to win. Like tap on the shoulder. You can even tap yourself on the shoulder. You can totally borrow this. We learned this from one of our trainers. Her name's Judith and she's amazing. So she taps herself on the shoulder like, oh, shift. Yeah, and you can do that. But obviously you have to create an agreement. So like the leadership team, like we have an agreement where if you get a tap on the shoulder, it's like, oh, time to shift. I'm like in my stuff, time to move forward, okay? So that's the power in having, a community of like-minded people who are there to boost you and lift you up. And that's it. So I gotta go back inside, but it was beautiful to be here with you for a moment on Dharma Talk Tuesday, and thank you, those of you that joined. Again, if this resonated with you, if you know someone who this will make a difference for, please comment their name and tag them in the comments, hit the share button, hit the invite button, share this message. Love isn't love until you give it away. So share, share, share. That's how we create, like a viral impact of positivity on this planet. And the other thing I wanted to say is that if you are really ready to shift and be out of that pattern of 2 steps forward, 5 steps back, I want to invite you to an energy SetPoint shift session with me. So I'll post the link here, but a few people have already grabbed them and they've had major, massive shifts like right away, like as in the day of, the next day, major breakthroughs, and it happened in the span of 20 minutes. So breakthrough can happen that quickly. Shifts can happen that quickly. It really can. It really, really can. So I'll post the link for that here as well. And I'm sending you love. I'm going to go back in the room. And I hope this was helpful. Hearts and likes have made a difference for you. Ooh, let's go walk with Matt. We're going to walk with Matt. Come say hi. I'm walking back right now. I'm saying goodbye to them. And here's Ash.
Hi.
It's a double duty.
Who is it?
It's my Dharma Talk Tuesday.
What's up, Dharma Talk? What's going on over there?
Yes, what are we creating here?
Dharma.
That was good.
All right, guys.
Bye.
See you next week, 6 p.m. Dharma Talk Tuesday. Bye.